Stephen A., you've been very critical of this season ever since 4th of July when KD made that very special move. So lamenting that the regular season was ruined. If this series goes 7 games, is that going to change the negative way you viewed this entire season?
No, not at all, because I never had any questions about the finals matchup. I always felt like the finals matchup would be epic. It can get no better. It can only get worse, meaning if we have a subpar NBA finals, that would really cement how bad this season has been for me. I know that Russell Westbrook was great. James Harden was great. We had some great moments, don't get me wrong. But we all knew it was coming to this, and the level of competition leading into these NBA finals was what was sorely lacking. And as far as I'm concerned, these playoffs have basically proved as much, considering the level of dominance both teams displayed in their respective conferences. When you look at it from that perspective, and you look at the fact that the balance of power dramatically shifted because one player decided that he was going to leave a championship contender for the team that beat him just a month later. I just have never seen anything like that. If you're building a team and it comes together, that's one thing. But when a superstar decides to join superstars as opposed to compete against them, I just think that that's a taint, a stain that doesn't go away that easily. It certainly hasn't gone away that easily for me. I'm looking forward to these finals. I expect it to be epic. Everything that we fantasized about it being, and then some. It wouldn't surprise me at all if it went back to a 7th game, but nothing that could happen in the finals will take away from the words that I could repeatedly articulated, and that is that for me, the regular season is what was ruined. I never said anything about the finals. I said the regular season.
This happens to me frequently on this show, Stephen A. I have something that I want to say to answer the question, but you say something so outlandish in your first statement that I really need to respond to that first. So, when it comes together because of trades, that's okay for a super team, but not if the players decide to go. Well, let me ask you this. You think Kevin Love, who was technically traded, right? They traded Wiggins for Love, who was the first pick in the draft for Kevin Love. You think Kevin Love ever agrees to go to Cleveland? You think he's ever going to let people know that he'd sign an extension there, possibly, if they traded for him, if LeBron James isn't there? In other words, Kevin Love being traded for by the Cavs is very similar to going out and signing a free agent somewhere. That's the way it works when great teams come together. There's a great player acts as a gravitational force for free agents, even in terms of trades, because they are understanding through back channels, yeah, if I get traded there, even to a market like Cleveland. Sorry, Cleveland, it's not considered as desirable a market for many athletes as a place like Los Angeles, for example, or Miami. And yet, yeah, free agents will go sign in Cleveland, or forget about free agents. Traded players will let you know, yeah, I'll re-sign. That's the same thing as KD signing with the Warriors. And your point about, they lost to them in the conference finals. Since when has the conference finals become more important than the actual finals? You think if KD stays on Oklahoma City, we're more psyched to see OKC versus the Warriors than we are to see the Warriors versus the Cavs? Now that the Warriors have upped the ante, signing KD, this is incredible. This is the matchup we all wanted. It's the reason the ratings for these playoffs are up. It's the reason these finals are going to rate to the extent that they will, is because we have been waiting for the clash of the Titans all year. It is practically, historically unprecedented in American team sports, in the history of American team sports, where a rubber match between two teams this good to decide an era is on the line. And even if, let's say, the Warriors trounce the Cavs, 5 games, gentlemen's sweep, ooh, with KD, they're unstoppable. You think that ruins things, or you think LeBron and the Cavs now go, okay, they up the ante, the arms race is on. As I mentioned, United States, Soviet Union during the Cold War stockpiling, a nuclear arsenal, or the Yankees and the Red Sox stockpiling arms in the salary cap arms race of the late 90s, early 2000s. The Cavs now go and re-up, reload, even if they're destroyed by the Warriors, for next season. There is not an outcome that I can imagine that somehow ruins this season. This finals is going to be epic almost no matter what happens.
So we go from talking about basketball to you bringing up the Cold War, Russia. I'm surprised you didn't mention Putin or the president of Kazakhstan, for crying out loud. I don't know what the hell is next with you. It makes no sense whatsoever. Here's the reality of the situation. For the last 2 years, we wondered, I'm not talking about this past season, coming into this season, for the last 2 years, we wondered as to whether or not Steph Curry was the best player in the world. We knew it was LeBron, but there was a time when Steph Curry had entered that discussion.
Yes.
Unquestionably, he was recognized as the greatest shooter in the world. And the Splash Brothers was rated as arguably the greatest shooting backcourt we had ever seen. Kevin Durant is universally recognized as one of the top 3 players in the world. And he joined them. You bring up Kevin Love. Kevin Love's a damn good player. Damn good player. Nobody's looking at Kevin Love like that, but you're looking at Kevin Durant like that. Because Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. He's that special. And when you look, and it's just like Kevin Durant said months ago when he was upset about everybody complaining about guys taking games off and stuff like that. He was like, it's stupid because that's just a rule that's going to apply to like 5 or 6 different dudes. Duh, yeah. When you're the headline, when you're a max dude, when you are worthy of being a super max dude, not some of these dudes that are in position to get those contracts. I'm talking about the select few who truly, truly deserve it, who you put on the billboards and you make the headlines and they contribute to selling the league. That matters. That's not something you ignore. That's not something you ignore. It matters.